Hey challengers, welcome to week 4, day 1. Can you believe it? We're on the home stretch. And you know what? Today's topic is all about mental toughness. It's about discipline. It's called going Hydra. And I want to start by giving you, and we talked a couple weeks ago about your thoughts lead to emotions. These emotions put you in a state of mind, a mind-body state, either fight or flight or flow. And there's a filter between the thoughts and the emotions, and those are your beliefs and your philosophies. And I'm going to share with you a very fundamental philosophy and belief that if you embrace this, it can help you grow through adversity. And many of you have heard of post-traumatic stress syndrome. There's a book written called Anti-Fragile. And I'm going to give you the summary of this book. I recommend you read it, but I'm going to give you the gist of it. If you're going along in life and something hits you, they call that a black swan. A black swan event is something that is a catastrophic event. It's unpredictable. It knocks you down. It really is unpredictable, catastrophic event. And for many people, when they get knocked down, they never recover. That's called post-traumatic stress disorder. And they get knocked down and they never recover. This is called fragile, okay? Something else can happen. You're going along, you have an event, a black swan event, it knocks you down, but over time, you recover back to your previous state. That's called resilient. So we've all heard of both of those things. Everyone talks about resilient. That's important. But you know what? There's actually something better than resilience. And that they didn't have a word for it, so he came up with this concept called anti-fragile. And basically what happens is you're going along, a black swan event happens, you get knocked down, you come back, but instead of going to your previous level, you go to a new level and you don't guide. This is called post-traumatic growth syndrome. And believe it or not, it's more frequent than post-traumatic stress. Post-traumatic growth syndrome happens all the time. It's a phenomenon in nature. So, matter of fact, my friend Marshall Thurber, he created a term called going Hydra to explain it based on this metaphor of the Greek mythology where you cut off one of the serpent's heads and 2 grows back. You cut off another head and 2 grows back. And so basically what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And what's his name? Ryan Holiday wrote a great book called The Obstacle is the Way. And this is what this whole thing is about. It's about, instead of having adversity knock you down and make you a victim, adversity can make you stronger if you have that mindset. And there's certain things you can do to make yourself fragile, and there's certain things you can do to make yourself anti-fragile. One of the things you can do is read this book, and it's called The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership. And we talk about it at OptiV all the time. But one of the commitments is staying above the line. And basically, when you go below the line, you're a victim, and the world is happening to you. You're a victim of circumstances. You're not responsible. But if you have this philosophy that the world is happening to me or for me or by me, then you're above the line, you're responsible. So really we're going to talk about how you can, habit number 2, with OptiV leadership habits, habit number 2 is take responsibility and play above the line. Habit number 3 leads perfectly into this concept, which is to seek growth and embrace obstacles as the way. So this is really a mindset, it's a philosophy, it's a way of living that you go out and you embrace challenges. So here's my challenge for the week. The challenge for the week is number 1, first let's check in with what have you learned and accomplished so far. Celebrate the challenge that you've gone through for this 4 weeks. You're now in the 4th week, what have you learned, how have you grown? Second is where are you willing to grow more? And I want you to make a list of 2 or 3 obstacles, 2 or 3 excuses, 2 or 3 stories you're telling yourself, 2 or 3 things that are frustrating you. And if you're ready to let go of those excuses, I'm going to give you an exercise on how to do that. And so here's the worksheet. This worksheet is actually from OptiV. It's right here in the lesson. And what you do is you come down here and you click on the Take Responsibility worksheet. And when you open up this worksheet, it looks like this. And you can read the instructions on how to get it started. But basically what you're going to do is you're going to look at a situation through 2 paradigms. The first paradigm is the normal paradigm, which is what's wrong, who's to blame, and how do we fix it. So the first step you're going to do is you're going to write down a situation, identify a situation where you had a significant issue, a frustration, an upset, a challenge, And you're going to describe it from the perspective of what's wrong, who's to blame, and how do you fix it. Then you're going to go to the back of this form and you're going to shift your paradigm to above the line. And you're going to change the questions. Instead of what's wrong and who's to blame, you're going to say what happened, without the story, without the drama, just what happened, what were the specific facts. Then the second question is what was missing, and talk about what was missing. And then the third step is what's the next step. And going through this process of shifting from being below the line to above the line can be very empowering, and it can develop your muscle to take obstacles and make them the way. And then the last thing is, if that scenario were to happen again, describe how you would handle it differently. And then so your final part of your homework assignment is to share that with your buddies, share your lessons with your buddies, and then come back to this lesson and post any insights on how you shifted from below the line to above the line. And let's go out there and let's be Hydra.